In this video, I'll be showing you guys how much I made by opening 88 Dark Seal chests, selling all the items that I had gotten from opening those 88 Dark Seal chests, using that money to buy something special, which basically allowed me to make 500,000 galleons in Arcane Odyssey. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe. Well, let's get started. The first thing that I did is I opened those 88 Dark Seal chests from a previous video with a luck 4 potion to basically get more out of those chests. It was like around 50% more, so that's like opening basically a total of 120 Dark Seal chests. And after eating these bananas, I was then able to sell all the things that I got from those chests, and that was basically the start of this adventure. I had to basically just sell everything that you see here and then use those funds to then make even more money. And this is what it looks like being all sold. It looks so satisfying to just collect all the stuff and just see your money go up. So now we have 144,000 and we're gonna use that to its fullest extent. And the way we're gonna do that is we're gonna basically buy and resell stuff. Yes, I am going to do drop shipping, but not in the way you would expect me to do it. Not in the way of just, price hiking something, like let's say this is acrimony, reselling it at a higher price. No, what we're gonna be doing is we're basically going to make the acrimony cheaper in the sense for the buyer. The reason why I'm saying that is an acrimony is basically 2 interchange potions, and people want to buy interchange potions which help them to reset their stats to become a different class. Well, people don't really have the money most of the time to buy one full acrimony, so we're gonna make it easier for them to buy one potion of interchange by buying the cheapest acrimony and then selling it as the cheapest potion. But we're gonna profit by basically making it a bit slightly more expensive than the amount we bought it with. The reason why I reset there is because after buying something from the marketplace, you have to reset for it to come up in your inventory so that it can then turn it into a potion. And then from that, we can then resell it to the marketplace at a slightly higher price. So in this case, I bought that acrimony for basically 100,000 galleons, and I'm going to be selling it into 2 different parts. So now they're worth about 50,000 for each potion, but I'm going to be selling it at 67,499. Why that exact number? It's to make it so like it looks slightly cheaper, but in reality it is fairly expensive, but it is still less expensive than the current one, which was at about 70,000. This is what I was talking about. The cheapest acrimony is at like 100,000, but the most expensive interchange potion is at 70,000. When there is a discrepancy between the two, that's where you can come in and make your own potions, sell that, and people will buy it, because 1, you're making a profit, as well as for 2, people that want to buy an interchange potion, they will obviously pick the cheapest option there is. So it's a win-win situation for both of you. And from that acrimony, which was at 100,000 galleons, I made a profit of about 35,000 galleons, which is a lot. And since I had extra money left over from before, as well as one of those potions sold, I can now buy another acrimony and do the same exact thing again. I'm gonna buy the cheapest acrimony, I'm gonna turn it into a potion, 2 potions basically, and then I'm going to basically resell them at that same price of 67,499, because again, that is still cheaper than what everyone else is selling. So people will buy it because it is the cheapest option. And I just do the same thing again and again, and it works out pretty well. Almost all of my things, like potions, get sold like basically within 1 day, and I just did this for every single day. I would come back to the game, go and, buy some acrimonies with the money I get from selling the potions, turn them into potions, resell them, and just did that for a few days and basically made up to like 300,000 galleons, basically doubling the amount that I started with, which is insane. And as you just saw, I bought 2 acrimonies, but each were like around 120,000, which obviously takes away from my profits, but again, it's completely fine because I'm going to still make a profit of around 15,000 per acrimony. And also, I'm pretty sure I didn't make 25,000, I made 35,000 from the first acrimony, which is insane. And same with this, I'm going to make around 30,000 galleons of profit from just selling these 2 acrimonies. And the more acrimonies you do this with, obviously, the more money you'll get. So the more your turnover is, you get way more profit because your volume is larger, you're selling more stuff. And here's an interesting thing here. I didn't like the acrimony prices right now. They went all the way up to 125,000. And for this day, I thought I'm going to take a break for the day because the prices are still pretty high. So I took a break and I bought them at the next day. Now here's one of the most interesting things that's happened actually. So I didn't have much money, so one of these things sold, but I happened to snipe an acrimony deal for about 70,000 galleons. That's right, an acrimony, not an interchange, an acrimony for 70,000. That is a snipe, and if I were to resell that as interchanges, I would be making a profit of 65,000, basically doubling the amount I spent on it. That doesn't happen that often. Someone must have made a mistake. They thought they were selling an interchange, but they sold an acrimony, or they genuinely didn't know the price of the acrimony and just sold it at 70,000. If stuff like that happens, make sure you take advantage of it. That just made getting money way faster. Now, while you're doing this, sometimes you will find someone selling cheaper than you, and usually it's fine. Like, just let them do it, because at some point they will sell out and then it will be your turn. But sometimes you do tend to get a bit greedy, and I went ahead and bought it because it's selling at 60,000, so technically it's half an acrimony, so it's the amount that I buy them at. So I still bought it anyways, and then I just instantly resold it at 67,500. That is dropshipping, when you buy something and add 0 value to it and just resell it. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing it. It's honestly just a waste of time and resources, but I did it anyways. And now we go on to the final stretch. This time around, I actually bought 4 acrimonies. I had enough to buy 4 of them, which was insane. And that left me with a whopping, how much is this? 368 galleons to my name. And then I sold all 8 of them interchange potions. And later on, as soon as 6 of them sold, I gained back around 405,000, with 2 of them left over. And then finally, with the last 2 being sold, I made a total of 540,000 galleons. So within a week, from 140,000 galleons, I made a profit from turning that 140,000 into 540,000. I made a profit of 400,000 galleons. And that's how you make money in Arcane Odyssey. Now, you can take the same logic that I used here and do it on everything else. Like, for example, you can do it with potions, you can do it with armor, you can do it with anything really. You just have to find which ones are popular. So, potions, like interchange potions or acrimonies, they're pretty popular. So, that's what I went with. If you look at the market now after watching this video, they're going to be very competitive because everyone's going to try and do it. The same thing happened when I showed off my last video about colossal clams. The colossal clam prices dropped to about like 600. In that video I was selling them at 1,000. So just find a different thing to sell that is also pretty popular and go make that money.